crap. Then you can hear me?
Yes, I can, yes.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me then?
I'm hearing you, sir, yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right, cool. So let's kick off. Let's kick this off. Okay. I just want to switch and go live on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Okay, so we should go on YouTube as well. All right, so let's look at chats. Okay, so I've just posted into the group. I've posted the plan in the group, right? Guys, give me feedback. Ben. Okay, while I wait for you guys to give me feedback. So this primarily is structure we're looking at. Okay. We have this major trend line here. And we haven't had a retest for major trend line as broken. Of a 4-hour multiple confluence in this area. Nicely broken. Cost us some pain. All right. There we are. GBP USD. Okay, so this is a big picture. Okay, so as we can see, some obvious consolidation going on here. Very likely and easily we should come down. Come down here. Come down here before taking off. We should come down to test the line. Come down to test. Okay. Should typically come down to test waters. Okay. Before taking off. Right. So something like this is what we should expect to move to the upside. Okay, after first of all taking this move to the downside, I'll take this and go all the way down here. So that's the problem. problem here is we have a, okay, it's not actually much. Let's measure the 7, we have a 20 pip drop potential, 20, 30 pips drop, and then a push to the upside for a retest. And today is Tuesday. This can go either way. You can have this push straight up, and then we get our M's here and further downside movement. Again, pound being a very, very, I would say crazy pair right now. But yeah, that's just what it is. Pound being a very crazy pair right now. Okay. So here's what I want to do. This is a 4-hour time frame. Uh, I'm just going to drop a few trade idea points in here. Okay. Everywhere within here is like yield zones. So we're looking for W's in the zone. For W's in the zone, pretty much it. So for W's in the zone, okay. So I'll just go into the smaller time frame, clean up the charts a bit. So typically what I'm looking for is last week's lows and high. So say this is Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So this was a high point of last week, right? So I'm going to leave that line in place. High point of last week. This must have been a previous week's high. Okay, I'm just going to clear that out. Okay? High point of last week. Gray lines are resistance points. Blue lines are low point previous. Okay, previous major resistance point that was broken. I'm going to push this down. This becomes lowest point of last week. All right. I'm going to gray lines are just support and just resistance, not necessarily low points of previous week, but major resistance points. Okay, so I'll make this line gray as well. Or we have some intensity. All right. This is what we're looking at. We've had this out. Yeah, we've had this push down, this major line. All right, I'm sure this is a few somewhere. Yes, break, double bottom, back up. Right now, we're just checking out this line. It's all monthly consolidated in this box. Today's same thing. So we're looking for a push down. If you can observe, there's a mini trend line going on here. So we'll just look and see what happens. If we get a push above retest, we're going on here. I expect that we're going to have some stop humps to the lows, and then we'll find some double bottoms to the upside. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Not much else to say here. I'll do some cleanup and post to the trading view. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Not much, nothing enticing. Tuesday morning. We'll see how it goes later on. Let's check out Euro USD. Euro USD. Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD. That's a bit. Okay, I have some fibs in place. Okay, again, Euro USD. This price action here. You see, come all the way down here, flying all the way up. Again, there's some sort of trend line action happening here. We want to also be on the lookout for that, right? We want to be on the lookout for that. Okay. Other than that, I just see the major trend line that was broken. Now we haven't gone back to retest. Let's show the way to retest this guy. So we have this small channel here. We could have some downward price action, give us a double bottom here, big double bottom, small double bottoms here, spike all the way up. So again, nothing so juicy just yet, but I'm sure these will begin to play themselves out. Okay, so let's go into the 60 minutes. Okay, on the 60 minutes, we see some nice price action happening. But let's find our previous week levels. Okay, previous week high points, obviously the highest point of the previous week. Uh, okay, blue lines, previous week's highs, previous week's lows. All right, so that's our range. Previous week high, previous week lows. Black lines, Fibonacci resistance of major. Red line, major channel from the past. Major channel from the past, red line. Okay, red line, major channel from the past. All right, major channel from the past. Okay. We'll just have the red line there. Okay, so that's our box. Again, we're just going to wait for this market to come down to any of our zones, any of our sets before we do anything, right? So for here, this all the way down, all the way down there, very likely. Then we see that straight up. Okay, this will go down back to the 60 minutes. So again, for this day, again, except that we have some nice levels below, but if we're to think short term for a bit, right? If we're to think short term for a bit, then this is what we're seeing right now. Okay, so you could be looking for a small entry here. I'm not going to bother. I'm just not going to bother. Okay, small entry here for the upside movement. I wouldn't bother with this setup, but then that's what could happen. So it falls break to the low, and then it push up. I'm sure everybody's probably saying, looks like a good trade. You probably should take it. I'm not going to rush. It's a Tuesday. Uh, 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 yeah. Okay. So if we get some nice W's down here, so as you can see already, low point of the day, come down rejection. I would prefer a stop hunt of here. This early induced buyers and try to shake them off. So if we see some nice double bottom here, right, look left, we see some nice action here, forcing people to sell, but then he reverses on us. Yeah, then maybe we can be tempted. Other than that, staying out until he comes all the way down. If he comes all the way down during New York, fine. If he doesn't, no problem. Come back tomorrow. What else? Okay, GG for me is just a huge monster. Um, Spreads are wicked. Spreads are wicked. I repeat, spreads are wicked. And instead of looking at GJ, I'd rather be looking at some action in UJ. Yeah, there's almost no point meddling in with GJ. Okay. So now this is my issue with UJ. This guy has been ranging forever. All the way here, we've been anticipating sales. It's just never really gotten around to giving the move. It's just never really gotten around to giving the move. So what's my take here? All the attention seems to be on the pound. Not much craziness happening in the US anymore. Um, not much craziness happening in the US anymore. However, as you can see, there's some action going on here. So this could really be the point. So this needs to come here and can easily bounce. But just for tightness sake, I'll make it this for now. Okay, so we've had one rejection of a 4-hour trend line. We have another test, a failure. And we can see some action there. But look at this whole range means there's big money hanging here. Just obvious big money hanging here. Okay, let's zone it out. Okay, so it's possible we've had a break or having a retest. So we'll see how the 4-hour closes. Pushes back up in here, then we'll look for rejections here, stop horns before the drop. Let's see how that one goes. Okay, so not much choppiness. Okay, we may find some rejection here. Such a small box. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this child's play? Such a small box. 10 pips. A whole day, 10 pips. The whole day, 2 whole days, 10 pips. Right? Chop it, chop it, chop it. 20 pips. The whole day. Right? 30 pips. 30 pips a whole month. A whole month. Don't mind me. 2 weeks. We're in the same box. Okay, so let's see if we reject here, then this could be a sign to induce the sellers. Let's see what happens around here. For UJ, preferably a break retest should be our sell entries. But nicer would be a stop on to the high. So if we get this pushing all the way back up, notice there was this sharp drop, come back to retest. For some reason, we push all the way back up. Then we'll look for M's in this region. Okay, that should be a nicer trade to venture into. Does anybody else have anything on the radar that they would rather I look at? Ben, do you think there's anything else for us to look at? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? See. Network took down. Okay. I see enough chairman here. Ella and HOD. Ella, Alpha. Good morning. Okay, so this will be all for now. For the purpose of having this on the Zoom, I'll switch to the one and we'll talk about that for a bit. I know this is going on live. I'll probably make the video private, but at least it's there for us to go back actually reflect on. Okay, some serious action. 50, 60, 30 pips. 30 pips range in the middle of nowhere, as you can see. Of course, this just means a drop is probably around the corner. Just like it's not juicy, in my opinion. So again, you're not expecting stuff like this. But you need this, I mean, for this to play out, there are many factors that need to come into play here. So again, not much juicy. The world is going round and around in circles with the pound activity. What else can we look at? GDP, AUD. Again, huge spread, 12 pips, 13 pips, crazy kind of stuff. But easy to read sometimes. You can see easy to read. Uh, Easy to read, nice place to trade. Okay, okay. Just easy stuff. Easy stuff. But this still has some down movement to get to. Okay. So see the price action. All right. So let's see. Again, huge, well, relatively huge range. Well, obviously, nothing on here for now. Okay, what else can we look at? AUD, USD. So I'm sure we'll probably have some action New York thereabouts. Oof, how big is the range? Okay, quite useful. Not too. Yeah. This can either reject here or free fall for too small, 20 pips. Nothing good here. Nothing good here. We had a break here, a retest. We're on the downward now. But we need to find some nice reasons to get in. Some picture, nothing to look at. Okay, so guys, I'm good. I'm happy I have Ella, Ben, and HOD here. Ben, I see you raising your hand. What's up? CHF, PNZD. Okay. So, okay. So this is what I see here. So this is what we see here. What's the play? Sometimes it's box. Sometimes it's box. And downwards we have I hope we have somebody that's okay. So here's the thing. Many times where you have a small what looks like a double top, like an M on a 4R, this is obviously consolidation. Obviously. So except there's some sharp news around the corner for Euro, which there might be, and we have a spike up and a push down. This play might take the rest of the week before we see any sort of decent sell. One thing to note here is look, this has been rallying for the whole month. The whole month we've been going all the way up. What do you think is happening? Everybody's thinking at some point there's a sell-off. So they gave you a small sell-off, quickly reversed, consolidated. At the end of such a consolidation, they didn't come down, meaning they thought, hey, we have plenty sellers, so let's kill them. Right? So they thought plenty sellers, let's drill them up. They broke the previous highs, retested, and they're pushing up. Anybody who was selling in this region should be cutting their losses in this region. So more moves to the upside. More moves to the upside. If we go into the smaller time frame, let's see. Okay, so if we were looking at this critically, we maybe would have been tempted to start buying around here with our stop losses to be low. So 20 pips kind of stop loss to continue this ride up. Um, based on what I do, based on how I see this, I'm not a okay. Let's keep walking this down and why this becomes a tricky buy scenario. Okay, this was previous week's high. Yeah, Tuesday, Monday. This was last week. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. This was the highest point of last week, and of course the low point was somewhere here. So previous week's high has already been taken out, except we get a firm double top here, which we are not getting, which we're not getting. So we probably had what looks like a flag or a triangle here, right? Probably had this kind of movement. Okay, and we are breaking to the upside. Okay, so continuation traders will be in buys right now. My next issue with this is buys to where it could be a small 8 pip, 10 pip buy and you're coming right back down. So for me, this has to be treated as consolidation, nothing juicy, right? Nothing juicy, okay? Nothing juicy there. If we see some M's here, okay, we see a giant M forming here at high of previous day. So take note, this becomes high of previous day here. So if we come here and we read my role and an M, then yes, this gives us some signs. Okay, so we should be anticipating the reversal of this massive move up. Maybe just a small dump, not necessarily a full reversal of the trend. But yeah, we should be looking for sales rather than buys. Sales rather than buys in that area. GBPNZD. Why on planet Earth would I ever look at GBPNZD? What's the issue? Okay. So for me, stuff like this, I'll be interested in stop ons to the high of the previous day. We've broken the high of the previous week. Induce buyers, shake off all the sellers, then dump. Okay. PNZD. Okay, UCHF just did, GBP NZD we just did. So Ella, be giving me feedback. So far, so making sense. Ella, be giving me feedback. Hope the Euro CHF made sense. Okay. So let's look at GBP NZD. Somebody who was a spread on GBP NZD. Someone has a spread on GBP NZD. Nice. Okay. So here's what we're looking at. Okay, GBP NZD, but obviously ranging in this giant box. Right? Obviously in a huge range. Huge range, but you observe. We're due for another move down. We're due for another move down. The question is, how do we get the move down? Very likely with all this competition on the upside. See, watch this. Halfway point. But then this, excuse me, halfway point of the range, but then see where this ends up, goes all the way to the top. Goes all the way to the top. When this happened, there are contracts in here, plenty orders, buys and sells, plenty. Why? At the top of the range, outside the range, a lot happened here. This consolidation just means we're not ready to go down yet. Maybe because there are plenty sells, maybe because there are juicy buys here that they can go and induce and then trap, right? So for me, this is the box to look out for. So from the full range, this is now the box we're interested in. Okay. Again, this is a 4-hour time frame, 4 whole hours, 4 whole hours. So I'll remove this box. I'll go down. Okay, so with that in mind, we now know that, look, there's plenty upward move left, but we're at the tip of our zone. So first things first, this was the highest point of last week. Change that into a blue line. Okay, highest point of last week. And lowest point of last week. Okay, high point, low points. Okay, midpoints, tested. Okay, so by default, first of all, high points is the target. We have to go and reject it or have a stop hunt there. So automatically, this is at play. Okay, my phone says hold on session begins. We're already in live and direct. So this is where it gets tricky. For plenty reasons, this can just start shooting all the way down. Or for plenty reasons, we can say, why don't we get on the buy to the upside? Well, this is what would qualify us to get into a sell. That we actually break this region, inducing buyers, have a retest preferably, have another move to the upside, confirming buys, but then we trap buyers, cut the stop losses of the sellers, right? Go and then drop. So that's the preferred setup. If it happens in London, fine. If it happens in New York, better. Yeah, if it happens then better. Now, if for some reason we came and we had a double bottom in this region, then yes, we would have had a buy, right? So it's either or. We reject here, however, I will be considering a firm double top here. So if we don't go above here, I still will just be patiently waiting. For that stop hunt or for the double top here, that would be a rejection. So a weak or an actual stop hunt of this zone into our real zone. So you see, many people will probably jump at this region. If this does a sharp fall now, many will jump at this region. But we know there's a lot more going up here. So that's it. No conditions for a buy entry. We didn't have any decent double bottom. If not, we should have bought. Moving all the way up. Again, looking at the big picture and knowing, Ben, 27 pips, is that the spread for GBP NZD? Meaning on your MT for it's showing 270. I know he has a very mad. Okay, no need to even look at this, in my opinion. If you have to deal with a 20 pip drawdown, then that's mad. Okay. Anyway, so that'll be the setup for the person who was asking. Could play out, be a decent trade. That would be your range, but very likely you'll stop somewhere here and pull back. Okay, so that's that for GBP NZD. Okay, so can I go to the trading plan now? Ella, are we okay so far? Hey, Jody, are we okay so far? All right. Okay, so I'll come back. Let's go through the trade plan, then we'll go back and see how this can potentially make some trades qualify today, maybe NY, and then tomorrow. Okay. To me, I'm usually looking for a very small, tight SL. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have my SL at that point. But if I can't see reasons where I'm getting in that tight, then for me it's not sweet. It's really not sweet. Okay. As a guide, usually I would enter multiple times as the confirmations or as the setup appears to be clearer. So I'm going to somewhere today before I take my first trade. I'm going to rework this and switch back to actual lot sizes that I'll be going in for perfect entries, late entries, and stuff like that. But just to get the concept, very tight 10, 15 pips. That's a cool entry, right? Anything more than that, I'm going to consider it as I'm getting in late. Or maybe because I missed a stop hunt high and the market is retesting a bit but it's about to drop. That's it. Again, these pairs on the average would move 50 to 100 pips. On some days it's more, on some days it's small. So typically, if we squeeze out 50 pips in one session, we should be satisfied. We should be satisfied. Usually means two things. It usually means there's plenty volatility to quickly move the market to a point, just so that you can now go and reverse. So on a big time frame, you could end up having weeks. So typically for me, 50 pips, if I'm fortunate to squeeze out 50 pips in one session, I should call it quits and just go and chill. If we get the calculations right, 50 pips should pay 2.5 to 5%. Well, that's going more conservative. Previously, 50 pips should pay 10% and above. Okay, so if we say 50 pips pays 2.55%, then we should be done for the day. But then we could say we are done for the session. So my rationale here is 50 pips or the top of the range. So for instance, if we come here and we get a drive, let me use G. Okay, for instance, if we get a double top here, this is a 1 hour chart. So if we get a double, Oh. Okay, you guys here. Um, can you guys hear me? Okay, okay. I've lost I've lost power on the laptop. But let me just continue here real quick. I'll go power up again and then we'll continue. Okay, let me just illustrate what I was saying. So I've shared the plan screen. I've shared my screen. I've shared the plan in here. So just to go over what it is. So like I said, if we're able to find the decent trade setup and we're able to squeeze 50 pips TP, we're out for the session. If we get our calculations right, we should be out for the day. Of course, if we see another clear setup in the next session, by all means, we'll jump right in. Now, top of Asian range, pattern completion, or start of NY. So if we're able to get this within London, then we're satisfied and we're out of that particular trade. That gives us a clear head to observe what's happening in the new session and to maximize the next trade setup that we may see. So sometimes when you trade, that your mind is fixed on it, you're not thinking anything else clearly. And if all the signs are saying reverse or continuation, sometimes it gets tricky. So these are the rules we should try to follow. If we get 50 pips, 40, 50 pips in one session, just get out of a trade, regardless of the long-term movement. Instead, find conditions for either a new trade in the new session in line with your previous, or just find a trade for the next session. So New York, London. For New York, by 7 p.m., if we get 50 pips before 7 p.m., we're out. If we get 50 pips before 7 p.m., we're out. Okay, so London entries, we need to be looking for these between 8, because Euro begins then. So between 8 and 10 and 11, that's pretty much where we should have the major moves. Again, the W's, the stop hunts, and all of that should begin to set up nicely. Okay, so London entries. Okay, if we can't find them early enough, there is no point because there's just no point. We'll be right in between. New York can come and shake us off with some huge spikes. Okay, if you don't find them early enough, 9, 10, then there's just no. It could be a New York trade, right? Same thing for New York. So come New York, 130, 230, 330, we don't find our trades. New York actually starts at 230. Right, but from 130, there's usually news at 130, the NFPs and the rest. So 130, if we don't see any aggressive moves that gives us a nice setup within 2 hours, then we don't have any trade. That's just as simple as that. Okay. Now, what are the trades? M's and W's. For me, it's reversals. M's and W's. On Wednesdays, Thursdays, we will be catching M's and W's. On the week reversal, but other than that, it's just reversals. So double bottom means there's a level that is being rejected. That's all. This rejection sometimes is a rejection. So the second leg of the W or M has a weak, so he rejects. Sometimes it's a stop hunt, meaning he actually goes lower, right? Giving you the impression that that level has actually been broken. Okay? This thing has to be happening at a sensitive point. It can't just happen in between. So time matters, but location also matters. So location has to be for New York, for instance, the M or W can be happening the second leg or both the M itself be happening at the highest point of that current day, maybe London's highest point, the point we had at London, right? Or the previous day, or the previous week. Okay? I'll explain Asian range, but I think you guys should understand what it is. Where there's a consolidation and you either go to the top of the consolidation or the bottom, or you false break that consolidation, you have a double bottom or a double top, right? So sometimes it's a line we're looking at, sometimes it's a range, small range we're looking at, right? Thieves, trend lines, and all of that confluence, right? So these M's and W's and stop ons, it's important that we're identifying that it's happening at major levels first. So it's happening at a major level and the conditions are met, the timing is right, then we get in, period. So again, Wednesday, Thursdays, mainly where we have a perfect week circle, many times you should be getting a major reversal, 50, 100 pips in the opposite direction that has been going from for the beginning of the week, right? So that's where if you're looking at it like a rhombus, and you're seeing 4-hour rhombus, you're looking at a harmonic pattern, 4-hour, 1-hour harmonic patterns would also be aligning with all of that. Okay. So Friday trade, if at all we ever trade on a Friday, if at all we ever trade on a Friday, it has to be precision, 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 precision. You have to see clear signs during London, very clear. MW, there has to be an obvious Asian range, meaning we've had a sharp reversal on a Wednesday or a Thursday. The markets trapped people in a small channel during Asia. So imagine all night, London, New York, Euro guys were all trapped, right? All through Asia, the Asian guys were filling in their own position. Now they may have filled in some positions that tips the balance. So many times what happens is you have a zigzag, you have a jigsaw. So it breaks out of the Asian range in one direction, giving people the impression that, hey, there's either been a reversal or a continuation, then you get a double bottom and a trap in the opposite direction. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If we do this and we stick with this, yes, as you can see, it means Monday there's really no action. Monday there's really no action for us on Monday. One thing I need to point out many times is where the market opens. Sometimes it's opening at the previous week's lows or highs. So sometimes early enough, you get some rejections off of the previous week's levels. And then you begin to have some trades early Tuesday. For most of our pairs right now, they just seated halfway in between. The GU looks like it's set to go up to the upside, but then wait and see for those confirmations first. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Okay, that's pretty much it. Any questions? Any questions? So I can end and prepare to come sit back for London. Okay, we said we'll have a. Okay, let me just switch this off.